Well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Chief Advisor of the Interim Government of Bangladesh, Mohammad Yunus, met on Friday on the sidelines of the BIMSTEC summit in Bangkok. Now, that meeting, of course, lasted for quite long. Many believe that it was a first step towards repairing Indo-Bangladesh ties that have been strained. But what has happened in the last weekend is that certain comments attributed to Prime Minister Modi as part of the conversation between Mohammad Yunus and Prime Minister Modi at that meeting have been rebutted by sources in India. These comments, or this attribution to these comments on the extradition of the former Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, were made by the press secretary to the chief advisor of the interim government of Bangladesh, Mohammad Yunus. And the press secretary, Shafiqul Alam, had said certain things that were attributed to the Prime Minister, which indicated that Sheikh Hasina would perhaps be extradited by India. So now that is something that was a perception that was created by those comments. And sources who are aware of the details of that conversation say that this is inaccurate, and also they question not only the accuracy but also the intent of the post. Now, that post, of course, does go into some detail of how that conversation took place in the context in which it took place. You now remember, of course, that Sheikh Hasina was the Prime Minister of Bangladesh till she fled the country last year after that uprising. And of course, an interim government is in place in Bangladesh before elections are held, and a constitutionally elected government is, of course, in power. But the interim government has made a request for the extradition of the former Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, back to Bangladesh. And that is something that has been acknowledged. But beyond that, there has been no movement. And this is something that many also have described as politically motivated, given that there is, of course, a lot of talk about former Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, who's believed to be in India. So obviously, all of this is something that does dominate discussions when it comes to India-Bangladesh ties. This is an issue that dominates discussions, but Foreign Secretary also, when asked about this, had said that, there has been a letter sent and that's what it is. Now, beyond that, there has been no commentary. But obviously, this attribution of some sort of a perception creating content or statement attributed to Prime Minister Narendra Modi is something that's being denied by sources in India. And that's something that perhaps, again, draws the attention on this particular issue. Now, India's consistent stand has been that the Indo-Bangladesh partnership or relationship is not based on one issue or one particular sector. It's a multifaceted relationship. It includes trade ties. It includes also cooperation on communication, on economic corridors, on so many other things, people-to-people relations, cultural relations, all of these things, and also the historical ties, of course, that go back to 1971, when, of course, India played a key role in the liberation of Bangladesh and then, of course, it becoming an independent country. So it's a multifaceted historical relationship where India has been a friend. And this one issue that does seem to dominate political discussion in Bangladesh is something that many believe is also a part, perhaps, of the India-Bangladesh relationship. But the India-Bangladesh relationship, very clearly, as per Indian officials, is very clear that it's a multifaceted relationship and it doesn't rest on one particular issue. So the attribution of those comments to Prime Minister Modi during that discussion that took place between Prime Minister Modi and the chief advisor of the interim government of Bangladesh, Mohammad Yunus, on the sidelines of the BIMSTEC summit is something that have been characterized as inaccurate and also perhaps politically motivated and also perhaps mischievous. So that's where it stands as far as this issue is concerned. However, this is an issue that continues to dominate political discourse in Bangladesh, and to some extent the discussion around India-Bangladesh ties. For more such videos where we go into the context beyond the headline, do stay tuned to NDTV and especially NDTV's YouTube platform, where we bring you these videos that go beyond the headline and give you the context in which the news headlines are developing. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to NDTV.